If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you could support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skip, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are truly unskippable and which ones belong in the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And this week we are taking a listen to Thriller by Michael Jackson, an album that needs absolutely no introduction. You all know it. It's the best-selling album of all goddamn time. And yes, it took us 28 weeks to get here.
So I've been Rob, that's been Mike, and we'll see you next week.
There we go.
Bye.
This one's going to be quick, innit, really?
Yeah, I think so. As you say, album needs no introduction. People realistically know the cover art more, as well as they do the track listing. Yeah. So this album actually came out on the 30th of November 1982, so 10 years before we were born.
10 years?
Well, yeah, if it was bought out in 1982.
God, it feels so much. It feels more retro. Like that, but then again, I feel like the biggest bulk of this episode is going to be how cool was listening to this whilst going around Vice City.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, this album came in from Nick, by the way. So, Nick, thank you for sending this one in. Again, it felt like one of the biggest, well, we have to cover this at some point suggestions, but at the same time, it took us 28 weeks to get here.
The thing that I find most baffling, we've only had one person suggest this.
This is the interesting thing about all the things that we've had suggested. The vast majority of them have come from one person. One person seems to have a connection to everything, and what you'd think would be the generalised stuff hasn't been. Rumours came from one person, and that's just bizarre to me.
It's incredible that like everybody's got a different connection to music, and that's why I love exploring with you on this podcast.
And although it is very telling about our audience, where the only one that has had multiple suggestions was My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade. We're very much entrenched in a subculture, my friends.
Well, I was a young boy.
Your father took you to Vice City to listen
to chainsaw a massive car.
Yeah, and to listen to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, which is a core memory of playing that video game.
Oh, 100%. And that's probably one of my first introductions to Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's got to be, I would say, the biggest root of millennial kids' kind of fascination with 80s retro culture.
Between that and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 are where I found my musical knowledge.
This just proves, right, how much of a important medium video games are. Which is a discussion we are not having on this show, but something I do very much just want to say. Video games are an art form. Screw you, Roger Ebert. Rest in peace. This was a weird tangent to begin with.
Let's jump back into it. So this album has been stated as one of the most influential and commercially successful albums in music history. Mm-hmm. It was a monumental leap for Michael Jackson. It fused pop, funk, rock, R&B, and cinematic storytelling somehow into a cultural phenomenon, and many fans and critics consider it the moment that Michael Jackson became a global icon.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Michael Jackson's career at this point is that his solo albums were not good. And
they were great.
There's a Tony the Tiger reference there in I'm sure of it. But no, it's interesting because this is very, I don't know whether this was the first Quincy Jones collaboration, but it was very much the big one, the multi-platinum big one, the best-selling album of all time big one. Something mad like 82 million copies, something like that. Oof. It's mega bucks big. We've not covered something that is this like culturally significant on this show before, like where it's just so prolific to, I would say, pretty much everybody on planet Earth. It's just, yeah, what else can you say? It's like reviewing water. Everyone knows what it is. So anything you can say kind of just feels secondary to the actual thing itself. I'm going to come out swinging nice and early, mostly because I anticipate this episode to be remarkably short. I think this is a terrible album.
Me too. Let's go home.
Let's go home. No, genuinely. It's 9 tracks long and none of them feed into each other. I think as a constructed album, it's actually pretty terrible.
Yep, completely agree.
But
you cannot turn around at the same time and say that this is a terrible album.
No.
It had 7 singles.
Mm-hmm.
that all reached the top 10. How the fuck do you have an album with 9 songs on and make 7 of them singles? You might as well have just called it the singles collection and released all 9 of the fuckers.
I'm actually pretty confident that he would have released the greatest hits and just all of this would have been on
It
there.
would have just been this album.
It's just nested
Apart
in
from
the
2
middle.
songs, I think one of them I'd never heard before.
Oh, there's one of them I wish I'd never heard, but we'll very much get into that.
That's not what I was expecting. So let's go back into the ratings. So at the time this album came out, the ratings it gathered were 5 out of 5 from Melody Maker, 4 out of 5 from the Greensboro Daily News.
We pull these from old newspaper clippings, actually. We've got a big board with Pepe Sylvia on it.
4 out of 5 from Rolling Stone, 7.5 out of 10 from Smash Hits, A- from the Village Voice. But then retrospectively, 5 out of 5 from AllMusic, 5 from Blender, A from Krista Goo's Record Guide, A from Entertainment Weekly, 5 from Q, 5 from Rolling Stone, Tom Hull on the web. Don't know why that's there. They gave it an A. Uncut gave it a 4-star. So even though it is probably the most commercially successful album of all time, people still didn't love it.
Well, some people didn't love it. I think you got to think about the cultural response at the time, which was it's a mega goddamn hit every single time. The man can't lose. Go all in on Michael Jackson. You really can't talk about a Michael Jackson record without talking about Michael Jackson. He indeed. A controversial figure, to say the least. A troubled person, I think, would be a fair point to make.
Yeah, troubled soul.
None of which I ever feel really like comes out in this album. I don't feel like the album is really plumbing any depths.
Well, this isn't, if I'm right on my Michael Jackson lore, this is relatively close to when he was fronting the Jackson 5, so it's before any of the more odd things about his life came to light.
Yeah, it's pretty much at that apex point before things got troubling and things started to change. Within a decade of this album being released, he would go on to have, several surgeries that would result in that change. I mean, there's no easy way to say this, with going white. It's just that is a thing that happened, and we all need to recognize that it happened. This is very much like when Michael Jackson was very much the king of pop, a black icon, and possibly one of the most important figures in music. The reason that is the case is because of his partnership with Quincy Jones, who very much was able to push Michael's very clear raw talent in the right direction. Originally, obviously, Michael was managed by his father, which was part of the Jackson 5 along with his brothers, where they were pretty much treated the same way as any talented children, which was abused to shit. It's a theme that is all too common. Weirdly, we last talked about this in the Beyonce episode. It's all too common that kids are unhappy being managed by their direct parent, and when they either strike out on their own or find somebody who's able to harness that talent in a different way, that's when the golden stuff is made, and that's very much the story here. I think it was the album prior to this that he started working with Quincy, and this was very much...
It certainly was. It was Off the Wall from 1979.
Which had Don't Stop Till You Get Enough on it, which I think was like the big, oh, this guy's going to be huge moment on it. Because he had 3 albums before that, none of which I think anybody can name a single song off any of them, maybe apart from Ben. Which is a weird track, because considering that was attached to a movie where I think there might have been a killer rat in it. I don't really remember. But... this is
That's not where I was expecting this conversation to go.
It was a weird time. Michael did some weird stuff, to put things fucking lightly. So this was not the point at which he was the troubled soul. This was the ingenious artist era, the Prince-like era of MJ. And that very much shows on the variety of the stuff that he's tried to accomplish on the album. Like you said, it blends all these different genres. Again, blend isn't the word I should be using, considering that it's very much just MJ has a go at every genre going, and most of the time succeeds on all of them, which is just absolutely insane. It's like it's really the story of Quincy realizing how strong of a vocalist this guy was and pushing him to every extreme, which very much results in extremely memorable stuff. But I would say there is a 5-track run in this album, which could be the generational run of songs on an album. an all-timer run from Thriller down to PYT, in my humble opinion. But certainly, Thriller beat it, Billie Jean. That as a 3-track back-to-back is unprecedentedly good.
Well, going back to what you said at the start about it being a terrible album, those songs are possibly some of the biggest songs that we will ever see released. And they all featured on one album. I have never seen anything like that, and I doubt it will ever be done again.
It probably won't. Mainly because, I mean, you look at that, I mean, that run of 3 particularly, Thriller beat it, Billie Jean. Thriller, for all intents and purposes, is a fucking novelty song.
It is, but it's a cinematic masterpiece at the same time.
Well, it's the age of the music video, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's what like shoehorn this into the popular medium.
Because it's the John Landis directed the music video, and the whole point of making the song was to make the music video. The Vincent Price cameo, the whole point, it was aping those horror movies of the time, those Hammer horror kind of like schlocky B-movie stuff, and that was very much the point, the MTV generation. That song isn't made for the music, it's made for the music video. It takes an artist as talented as Michael Jackson was for you to equally remember the music. You can't go one Halloween without hearing Thriller once.
No, you can't, and you can't go to any Halloween party without seeing at least one Michael Jackson Thriller costume.
Exactly.
It's remarkable that even though he was a renowned singer, that legacy is carried on even to this day in 2026.
Yeah, it just feels like what else can we really say about it? Water is wet, grass is green. Michael Jackson's Thriller is the Halloween song.
I will say though, I think this the collaborating artist on track 3, The Girl Is Mine, is going to go places. It's this P. McCartney. I'm sure after working with such an incredible artist like Michael Jackson, he's going to go places. Wait a minute. Didn't that happen more recent? Oh, yeah, with Kanye West. Who is this P? Nah, he must have been around for a while.
That was a wild time to be on Twitter.
That was a wild time to be alive. People thinking that Paul McCartney was going to be big because of Kanye West and not realising who he was.
Oh, Kanye wishes he had the kind of record that Paul McCartney did.
The younger generations are a bit lost when it comes to music sometimes.
You know what? We can all claim ignorance. I don't think you can claim ignorance about this album, though, because I feel like we've absorbed this entire album via osmosis before we came to this.
Yeah, 100%. And as I say, there were 2 tracks on here I didn't know. For an artist like Michael Jackson, or for any artist to have an album where, even though I haven't ever listened to it in its entirety, I don't know 2 tracks out of 9. That is remarkable.
Again, it's most of the record. You were like, oh, it's got this song on it now.
And you were like, oh yeah, but it's got this, and this.
Yeah, because you were like Human Nature. I'm like, I don't know that one. No, I do. I do know it. Of course I know it.
You know it from all the features it's been on since its release.
Yep. What can be said? Like, you know this. You at home know this. You know what Thriller sounds like. You know what Beat It sounds like.
But do you know what Baby Be Mine sounds like?
This is the thing, right? The front half of this album, I say front half, it's 9 tracks. The first third of the album probably contains the most stuff that people don't know. Outside of Wanna Be Starting Something, people know that one. But
what about Lady in My Life?
I feel like a lot more people have reverence for that than The Girl Is Mine or Baby Be Mine.
See, I knew The Girl Is Mine.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
I did genuinely. I heard that one about 20 years ago, I think. Like, just randomly. I was like, this sounds like, wait a minute. Is that Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney? What a weird pairing to be on a song fighting lyrically about a woman. it just makes you chuckle. Like, was Paul McCartney a sex icon back in day? Like,
I mean, yeah, the Beatles were, right?
Yeah, but Paul McCartney specifically.
Maybe not Paul McCartney in the 80s, like Wings era Paul McCartney, maybe not, but like 60s Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah, but it's just a bit odd to hear him and Michael Jackson fighting over a woman. I remember watching the music video when I was in an old job, and I was just browsing YouTube, as you do when you're supposed to be working, and I found the music video too. I was like, this is so unbelievably corny. I must watch more.
It is, and I say this with all the love in my heart, weapons grade cringe.
Oh yeah,
it's It
Girl
is.
is mine.
It's such a product of its time. From
She said she'd be my forever lover.
oh my god, the spoken word version, like it's William Shatner bad.
I don't believe you.
It's all the elements of a song that are awful, and yet somehow I cannot stress this enough. You need to listen to it,
And you need to click along.
You really don't get songs like this anymore.
You don't.
And I'm not saying that in kind of a dusty boomer, they don't make them like they do in my day. I mean, there's a reason that they don't make songs like this anymore. They are incredibly trite. They are incredibly overplayed. This is like it's like, you know what it is? It's like Dolly Parton, and I love Dolly Parton. I think she's wonderful.
I think the whole world does.
Yeah, but you know it, don't you? Yeah, and it does feel a bit old hat, but in like a retro kind of kitschy way. This is like, it's like that, but for all the wrong things that we moved on from. The spoken word bit is so unbelievably cringy. It's so unbelievably bad. It's so funny. I mean, Michael's speaking voice has always been weird, but hearing
She'd be my forever lover.
yeah, I'm like, you are 12 years old.
Hello.
Fuck off.
Hello, friend. You want to be my forever lover?
The use of the word doggone, really? Oh my god. It's a relic. I will say that. It is something to be studied. I don't think it's something to be aped in nowadays.
But I will say, this album has possibly got one of the most well-known guitar solos of all time.
Okay.
From Beat It.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. That incredible guitar solo, which was done for free by the one and only late, great Eddie Van Halen.
Yep.
And there's been a recent interview I've seen where he was talking about that solo, and he said that during the time when part of Van Halen, of course, the incredible rock band, they were split up across the country having a break from touring, and he said, I couldn't get in contact with any of them. We'd agreed not to do any paid work outside of Van Halen, and I just thought I'd do a favour for a black kid that nobody knows. And the fact that he's referencing Michael Jackson as a black kid that nobody knows is absolutely insane. And it's possibly one of the most copied and, as I say, well-known guitar solos in history.
Nobody of the TikTok generation knows who Van Halen are, but they all know who Michael Jackson is.
Exactly. It's
so
insane.
Funny.
Like
so
the way
funny.
that it's changed, like Van Halen, if you're in that sort of community, you know who Van Halen is.
Yeah.
But if you're in any community, you know the fuck Michael Jackson is.
This is it. I was going to be talking about how he's a controversial figure, and I feel like that's...
But I don't
we can
think
circle back.
I don't think that's the sort of thing that we should talk about with this album in particular.
That's kind of what I wanted to bring up, because I think this is one of those rare situations where people can separate this art from the artist.
100%. This was done in his very early stages of life, before any of the controversial stuff sort of happened to him. And even now, like after he's passed, I mean, with his sad passing in 2009, then allegations came to light. He went through all the weird plastic surgery procedures. He went through what he claimed to be a skin condition, when people were saying he was skin bleaching, the whole thing around plastic surgery with his nose and everything like that. But in all honesty, this album was years and years before any of that sort of stuff happened. So it's like, is this a different person? Was he bipolar? Did he have some sort of part of his life where something happened after the release of this album that changed his future? We'll never know. He's long gone, and so are his secrets.
Yeah, we can draw a lot of lines from early trauma and mismanagement and all that. The other, there are certain things that we're just never going to know.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's important to frame it when you can talk about Michael Jackson, the man. Michael Jackson, the man who was friends with Paul McCartney. Michael Jackson, the man who got favours from Eddie Van Halen. But seemingly just not important when you're talking about Michael Jackson, the person who made Beat It. Which, again, for a mostly soul-fronted act to just go, I'm doing a rock song now, and I think probably one of the bigger inspirations for like early 2000s rock, weirdly. The amount of people that have covered Beat It off the back of hearing this on a pop record and taking this in rock directions, the impact cannot be understated how impressive it is for a pop act to just do, I'm just doing a rock song now, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be an all-timer, really.
Yeah, 100%. And he used that as well to go into other rockier songs, like later down the line. It was like his foray into rock. I mean, even you've got the amazing guitar riff on Black and White.
That's true, yeah.
Like,
Black and white.
following on from this, like, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, but that guitar riff, that is like so widely recognized. It's insane.
Well, this is a network at the end of the day. It's very similar to Prince in that vein. That Prince worked with very talented people. I think MJ did the same, but all of those people were surrounding him.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he's the thing that made it work, the special sauce.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, also weirdly at the time where he really started to experiment with the all too now parodied kind of vocal inflections, the chamones, etc. The first track on this album does that more than anything. Like the "You're a vegetable" is
he actually saying you're a vegetable?
You're a vegetable. That is what he's
I
saying.
never knew what he was actually saying on that song.
He's saying you're a vegetable. It's weird, and again, very much a product of its time.
Poor carrots.
Poor carrots. It's a weird thing, and you do see it a lot more in this, but it's iconic for a reason, right? No one else was doing that. Nobody else was...
It's like he was making a brand for himself.
Yeah, I think it's very much the visage of a voice that can't be tamed, if you know what I mean?
And as well, he was an incredible stage presence. He uses those vocal infractions to get a lot of air in while he's dancing and get the extra breath for singing. So even though he's going, it's a good way to empty the lungs of all that last little bit of breath to fill them up again quickly so he can sing while he's dancing.
You know what the embarrassing part about that is? You knew that, not me, and I've been to like drama school stuff. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's a very valid technique. Okay, fair enough, cool. The guy just had pipes, so it
100%.
It makes sense that he understood how to use that instrument. Very quickly, because we've already spoken about it. Billie Jean, it's just great.
He's not my lover.
He's not your lover, no. It very much feels like the...
He's just a girl. He said that I was the one. I am taking that song. And that's what I thought it said, playing Grand Theft Auto. I used to think it said, he's just a girl. And I was like, what? That makes no sense.
This was before we had our views on gender challenged, apparently.
And we were 13 at the time.
And we were 13, and also we were hearing this through the crappy speak of a CRT TV whilst playing in beautiful...
9-inch screen.
Yeah, playing on a peeled potato, basically.
Wait.
But
I miss my Spuddy.
Spuddy.
Michael.
Okay. Are we?
I had to throw it in there. Sorry.
Are we going to leave in us talking about Brazilian Michael Jackson?
Yeah, so we've been stalked lately by a meme of Brazilian Michael Jackson, which is just a white guy in a white guy mask. He's wearing a white guy mask.
He's not wearing a mask. He's got like paint on his face.
Oh, I thought he was wearing a mask.
No, it's not a mask. That's his actual,
it's actually actual face.
He's just painted his face.
Okay, so it's a white guy that's painted himself white.
He's a Brazilian guy, hence the name of the meme, and he's painted himself stark white. It's some kind of... I mean, we'll never know, and I don't want to know because I need to preserve the mystery.
It's a comedy talk show by the looks of it.
Yeah, the presenter has about 20 pairs of sunglasses on his head for some reason.
And then there's just carnage happens, and he just spends about 2 minutes trying to compose himself, looks up at the screen, and with the biggest veneers I've ever seen in a man's mouth goes, Michael, and then it cuts off, and we know no more.
And the guy's just going, woo, like, just knocking him off his train of thought. It's about 30 seconds of absolute carnage.
And I'm here for it.
It's fucking excellent. This was a weird
It wants
aside.
to be starting something.
It does, and it normally started me off on a laughing fit.
Vegetable.
There's no structure to this album, and there's no structure to this review.
Podcast either.
What's your favourite one? Because, like, you know, I feel like it's going to be one of the ones we've already talked about.
It's definitely one of the 9 tracks.
Yeah, I mean, that helps.
I'm torn between 2.
Yeah.
And we haven't mentioned either of them yet. Well, you have actually mentioned one of them.
Is it Human Nature?
It is Human Nature.
I thought it might be.
I love, like, the ethereal feel of that song. It's like... It's just such a nice song to listen to. He goes from that beautiful vocal range to softly more spoken, like, why? I love it. It's just so well put together, and it just makes me feel like I'm young again.
Yeah.
So I remember having that on tape.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had it on a random tape of like a Now tape or something. Or one that was burnt from a radio somewhere that I found in my mum's collection. It's just such a nice song. It's just nice. And then I've got PYT because it is a tune. Pretty young thing, you need to love me.
Again, very
so
much
funky.
a relic of the 80s for sure.
Oh yeah, PYT. Pretty young thing.
But it's a good example of the production on the album, like really lend into it, because it's like it's big, but it's not overbearing. It lets MJ very much be the lead, and just those vocal stings just add a little bit of flavour. You get a little bit of that on What Are We Starting Something. I mean, the Mama Say Mama Say Mama Kusa section is a bit more prevalent, but you know they found additional voices that fit round him as the star of the show very well, and it's something that can be said across all the albums. It's a schizophrenic as hell album, but you know there is some degree to the production that I understand that they've just gone, right, we're gonna find every scenario that this voice works in, that this style works in. So you know the very much almost easy listening level of Human Nature. It's not quite as boring as some easy listening stuff could be, but it's very kind of steady and soulful and like you say, just very pleasant to listen to. And then immediately into the big funk of PYT.
Pretty young.
Are they back to back on
They
the
are
album?
back to back as well.
It's the thing. It's one of the strongest albums we've reviewed in terms of just the pure song to song momentum. They don't in any way kind of match up stylistically, but they're all good. I have to throw it back to Billie Jean purely because
she's not your lover.
She's not my lover, but she was very much the song that got the most radio play on Vice City, and I'm an absolute cook for that game.
Between that and Mr. Broken Wings for me.
As we were talking about in the couple of episodes ago with the flying car cheat. Yeah, it screams 80s. It just screams. It is, I would say, the 80s song.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, you cannot say Michael Jackson and not think Billie Jean.
100%. And I know it's such a really basic bitch pick, but it is the Michael Jackson song for a reason.
And a music video again. The moonwalking on the random lit up floor tiles.
When I step on the lighty square. I've really been trying not to quote Shimon Mofo Selector. But yes, the lighty square bit. Again, another iconic visage, like with the pink jacket over his shoulder. It's such a neon-soaked vision that came to define that decade. And
even being referenced in stuff like Alien Ant Farm when they did a cover of Smooth Criminal.
Yep.
Like, throwing that in as a reference, like that moment of musical cinematic history has been like cemented. Like, people know that just from the scene, from his iconic outfits and everything.
You got to think it's got to be one of the divorced dad anthems now.
Oh,
though,
yeah,
right?
100%.
Like, it's not my kid. Like,
woo! I ain't paying child support for this one.
The story is very much somebody who
don't even look like me.
He nearly gets finessed into child support. That's the story of the
kid,
song.
Yeah, I'm awesome.
And he's still incredibly funky, even though it's that. I love it. It's great. If there's something that surprised me, though, I think Human Nature could be one of them. But Want to Be Starting Something, I think I forgot how much I liked it.
Okay.
I think there's just, apart from all the weird stuff about vegetables, there is a carnival feel to it.
I'd say more a musical theatre feel to it.
You think?
Which is why I think you like it so much.
That would make more sense.
It feels like they're going to be clicking like West Side Story. Gonna be starting something. Got to be starting something.
There's very much a dance beat to it, isn't there? But it's post-disco, so like I kind of expect that. It's kind of feels like a shedding of the identity from kind of Off the Wall and Prior, which is very much like disco perfected. And then it's going like, we've fucking done disco, and now we're going to do everything other
else
genre
other than disco.
Is there something that you didn't like on the album?
Ooh, I think The Lady in My Life, bit dull.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I can say about that song. It's dull. There's not really much going on in there. It's compared to the rest of the album, it's just there.
It's a perfectly cromulent song, isn't it?
It's a song. There's nothing special about it, and yet it's been sampled a lot. But it exists, and I'm glad it exists, but it's not something that I'd be brokenhearted if I never heard again.
Yeah, it's a particularly weak ending to one of the strongest albums we've ever had.
And I can see why it wasn't released as a single.
Yeah, I understand that. Which is weird that The Girl Is Mine was, because, like, as we've said, cringe as shit.
Girl is mine.
It's such a weird song.
Was it around the same time he did that weird frog song?
Oh, God, probably.
We All Come Together.
Would have been post The Wiz, so that would have made sense. Yeah, it's got to have been around then. But, like, at least with The Girl Is Mine, it's so bizarre, I think it has to be heard, where I don't think you could say the same about The Lady in My Life. I think it's just a perfectly fine, utterly cromulent ballad.
So We All Come Together 2 years after.
Was it?
So it was around the time that Paul McCartney was making weird frog-related music as well.
There we go. Okay, so it was that time.
Yeah.
There you go. And then the rest just speaks for itself.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything else we need to say. I think we can just go straight to the thing. Like, come on, God. It's Thriller. It's Thriller. It feels like cheating.
It does feel like cheating, but I still need to ask the question, Mike.
You know it's unskippable. It's like, I'm not enthused about the fact that it's unskippable. It's one of the albums. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as like when people say one of the songs of all time.
It's like the album.
Yes, the album of the 80s.
90% of music from this modern age would not exist without this album.
Sadly, I don't think it's sadly. It is the truth. It is that level of permeating the zeitgeist. You can't make stuff without knowing that this is part of the history of the medium you're in.
Yeah.
It is that iconic.
This is music culture at its finest.
But it's just, it doesn't feel satisfying to me to say this, you know what I mean? It's just more so than Rumours, which I fucking love that record. This, I'm like, I love the songs on this record.
But it's just not a cohesive album.
It's not, and yet at the same time, just one of the biggest, well, fucking duh moments. Like, of course it's going to be unskippable. It's one of the most important records ever made. I'm not happy to recommend it, but I really do like that, you know, like I say, a perfect 5-track run, one of the most generational runs of all time.
Well, if you would have said anything else, we'd have been starting something.
Yeah, you prick. It's unskippable though, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, I didn't want to give it the unskippable rating either,
no.
but it's just one of those. It would be a disjustice to modern music.
Or an injustice, as it were.
Fuck you, it's been a long day. It would be purely an injustice to modern music to give this anything other than unskippable. Most of the artists that we love and know now would be nothing without the release of this album to show the world that you don't need to be pegged into one hole. Like, you can explore musical avenues. You don't have to be a pop artist because you've made a pop song. You don't have to be a rock artist because you've got a guitar. If you've got the skill, you've got the talent, and you've got the time and patience to make something you love, you can make anything. And that's what this was about. It was about throwing away that disco title and showing the world, fuck you, I can do what I want.
You can do anything.
Exactly.
It's much the thing. It's very much... the kids call it aura farming, I believe. I believe it was aura farming, this entire album. Yeah, no, it's just the biggest foregone conclusion that nothing else needs to be said. Like, come on. Come on, guys. Like, what else were we going to say? It would have been just a sheer edgelord fucking thing to say this was anything other than unskippable.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, and this is why it's shit, actually. Like,
it'd just be wrong.
It would be factually incorrect, and we're not here to do that. Maybe you can, you know, accuse us of playing it safe, but I'd argue this is one of the safest picks for a favourite album. So
100%.
Thanks, Nick.
Also, just as your random fact to round this off before we say goodbye. So, The Lady in My Life was once sampled on the song I Wanna Smoke by Gangsta Pat. And that is all I've got to say.
Gangsta Pat.
Gangsta Pat.
He's got
a gun and he's gonna go clat.
He's got a Tech 9 and he's got a big gat. Jesus
It's the
Christ.
same thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not a rapist. I don't understand. So send in your unskippable albums. Let's have one that's maybe got a bit more of a discussion to go on rather than just going, well, doy. Send that in to us at skippod@gmail.com. That's skipdpod@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can go to the link tree. That's linktr.ee/skipdpod. We're pretty much Skip Pod wherever you want to find us, Instagram, anything like that. Send them in. We want to hear them. And maybe we get something that is equally as generational, but has a little bit more struggle to get there. That'd be interesting.
It'd be nice.
So, we're very much, how should I put this? From a generational icon to an album, I would say about 90% of people know the artist and not the album. That's your tease for next week, and we hope to see you in 7 days' time.
Don't forget your return ticket.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.